Up, everybody? Joe White here, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about this drama between um, Sarah Stock and Amanda Huber, who is the wife of the late John Huber, aka Brody Lee, aka Luke Harper. Man, so after the AEW pay-per-view this past Sunday, where John Moxley got to do his fish tank spot that he's been talking about for years. Hey, dude, even up, bring a fish tank. Who knows? Let's try. Yeah, let's try this. Anyway, um, you know, it sparked a lot of controversy online, and Sarah Stock, who used to be a coach for AEW, goes online and basically, well, let me read this to you. This is from Ringside News. Yes, a very quote unquote reputable source. The moment alone has sparked intense concern online with former AEW coach Sarah Stock issuing a stark warning. This is not something kids should be watching. Stock, who left AEW earlier this year, did not mince words when she replied to the official clip posted by AEW's social media team. Instead of aiming her frustration at the company, she turned to the people at home, said, "You know who should stop this? Mothers with their remote control. This is worse than the plastic bag over the head. Kids are going to end up trying this stuff at home." Now, AEW, to the best of my knowledge, WWE doesn't even do it anymore. At least once every program, WWE used to go, "Do not try this at home." They used to do a PSA. We work hard, we train, we bleed. Do not try this at home. And on the video games, it says, "Do not try this at home or school or anywhere." AEW has never done anything like that. I think they should. But her message was loud and clear. This isn't just edgy storytelling, it's a potential hazard that could encourage kids to mimic what they see in the ring, says Ringside News. Um, so then Amanda Huber replies to this, and I got to tell you, um, this is getting out of control because Amanda Huber, yes, she used to be in the business. I think she was a manager for some stuff in upstate New York. Never made it to the big time. Never made it as far as her husband did. Nobody even knew that she was really a worker until quote unquote worker. I've never seen the woman take a bump. Yeah, I know, says the fat, ugly white guy who's never taken a bump. Let me take that ammo away from you right there. Let me take that away from you right there. I know people are gonna go, "You stupid fat ass Joe White. You don't know the business, Joe White. Why don't you take a bump, motherfucker? Get in the ring with me. I'll fuck you up." No, you won't. No, you won't. You know why? Yeah, and I won't get into that. Never mind. But anyway, she goes online and um, basically is like, "I take my kids to bed before it starts, and I do control it. And by the way, you tried to choke somebody out on a wrestling show with a belt." Sorry, I got a phone call. Um, and then she continued on of, "By the way, just do like you always do. Make sure your tits look great in the photographs." Shit like that. Basically saying that you just got where you're at because of your looks and your tits and everything else. Well, then this all got made very public by Amanda Huber. Um, she goes on Twitter and leaks, quote unquote, leaks text messages. I'll post a video of that on the screen. And Sarah basically dismissed Huber's criticism of AEW content as hysterical. Huber hit back by revealing personal text exchange between the two. Why do you got to do that? Why? Why? She, so fucking high school. Anyway, in it, Amanda says she tried to handle things privately before going public, but Stock's cold reply set her off. Oh no. Oh no. She got millennial triggered. She got millennial triggered. Goes, "I texted her before I tweeted. Her reply was that I need to be tougher." The leaked screenshot shows Huber calling Stock out for quote tweeting an old video of her talking about grief to deflect criticism. Amanda didn't hold back. Quote tweeting a video of me talking about kids with grief to defend your bullshit is a piece of shit behavior. I expected better of you. How fucking disappointing. Stock's reply is, you got to be a little tougher than that, Amanda. One tweet should not send a person into a cursed filled hysteria. I agree. Um, it didn't sit well with Huber, who fired back again online with a scathing message accusing Stock of lying for dirt sheet money. Um, it says, Amanda said, I'm ignorant to how the industry I've been in since around 2002 works. Calling me hysterical is a choice when I'm pointing out your hypocrisy. Keep telling lies online. Maybe one of the dirt sheets will cut you a check. Sarah Stock's reply, a dismissive one word response. Zing. This is just stupid. This is very, very stupid. You know, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Amanda Huber is already responsible for getting somebody else canceled. She got Bruce Mitchell canceled. The columnist who was the head columnist, the lead columnist for over 20 years at the PW Torch website. And when he asked point blank, show us the doctor results that say that Huber didn't die of COVID, John Huber didn't die of COVID. Oh, how dare he? How dare he? How dare a guy who is a journalist ask somebody for evidence? Now, granted, it's probably not the best thing to do right after the dude dies. Maybe he should have given it a few months. And it's also, he is a journalist. He's trying to find out facts. You know, I'm not necessarily defending asking a grieving widow and hey, let us post your husband's autopsy online. But at the same time, he's got a job to do, and he wanted to know. So that got him canceled and fired because the idiot up there in Minneapolis, Minnesota, decided that instead of standing up for his employee, he didn't want to lose the 5 subscribers he already had left. So he decided to fire Bruce Mitchell. And Bruce Mitchell tried to do a podcast for a couple months afterwards and really hasn't been seen since or heard from since. So Amanda Huber is already responsible for getting one person canceled. You could argue that Bruce Mitchell got himself canceled, but still. Also, you got to think back, it was a way totally different time. We lived in a different world than we lived in 5 years ago. Today, I'm not too sure if that would have happened today. I'm not too sure what the same result would have happened. But now she's trying to get Sarah Stock fired or canceled. Here's the thing. The neckbeards online are siding with Huber on this, obviously, because Huber's an employee of, I think she's still an employee of AEW. She might have been fired in their recent cuts. I think she was. But here's the thing. Kids, kids aren't going to go to school and hit each other with steel chairs. Kids are going to go to school and try to quote unquote put each other in the figure 4 leg lock, which I used to do that to my brother sometimes. Kids used to go to school walking around doing the crotch chop, telling each other to suck it. It was harmless. It's harmless. Kids did not go to school and hit each other with chairs. Now, there was a case, and Millennial Smark here on YouTube, shout out to Millennial Smark. He's a good guy. Go watch him. He did bring up the fact of, and I remember I think it was his last name was Tate. Little kid practicing wrestling moves on his sister, got out of hand, and he killed her. He got sent to prison for manslaughter. I mean, you're listening to a guy who's, one of his good friends, one of my very good friends from elementary school, was playing with his Power Ranger figurines as a kid. Decided to light one of them on fire, and he still, to this day, has third-degree burn scars all over his body because he lit his bedroom on fire. Shit happens. Is it going to happen? Like Millennial Smart says, we have these what-if scenarios. Everybody's doing what if. The thing is, a steel chair to your head, probably not going to kill you. But did you know they used to run commercials about this? Did you know that you can drown in as little as 1 tablespoon of water? 1 tablespoon. Go measure out a tablespoon. It's not that much. It's not that much. I hated this spot. I didn't want to see it. And you talk about kids watching it. I got a 16-year-old son, okay? He was 10 when AEW first started, or 11. From the moment he started watching it, I think he watched it the first couple of years on and off. But the second, he didn't like the blood, even back then. He did not like the blood. He would turn it off when the blood started. He would turn it off when the barbed wire started. He had a conscience of his own to realize that this is stupid and should not be on a pro wrestling show. Okay? So hopefully a lot of kids are like my son and realize this is stupid. It's grotesque. You shouldn't be watching it. It's disgusting. Even adults should not be watching. And as far as AEW fans go, AEW fans are going, somebody posted on Twitter, it's in Millennial Smark's video on this. AEW is not for children anyways, it's for adults only. You shouldn't be letting your kids watch it. Well, these are the same stupid woke neckbeards with their stupid slag wives who, when AEW first started, and we had the guys in the penis costumes bouncing around, and we had the Sunny Kiss walking around, and we had everything else, that they had woke going on, along with the barbed wire and the damn flaming tables and everything else. These are the same neckbeard idiot weirdo sickos, and sickos is right. They were going, wrestling is for everybody. These are still the same people who, until the whole speaking out movement happened, liked Joey Ryan pulling, the crotch spot and pulling a lollipop out of his crotch and stuffing it people's mouths. These are the same people who wrestling is for everybody and watch this Effie guy jack himself off with another guy's hand and think that's okay to watch. Now, all of a sudden, now that morality comes into play, when it comes to children, oh, now children shouldn't watch this. But what happened to wrestling is for everybody? If wrestling is for everybody, kids should be able to watch it too. Kids are everybody, aren't they? Kids are a part of everybody. You know, it doesn't make a sense. It does not make any sense. You can't contradict yourself. You can't have your cake and eat it too, guys. You can't. Either this is an adults only product and they need to label it TVMA, not TV 14 or TV 13, but TVMA, and that includes not just the pay-per-views, that includes Dynamite and Collision, and anything they put on YouTube, they need to age restrict it on YouTube if this is for adults only. Because it's not just a pay-per-view. It's not just a pay-per-view. Somebody also brought up a good point. Kids can go on YouTube and watch clips of this crap. Kids can go on Twitter and watch clips of this crap. Oh, well, you should have a better idea of what your kids watch. Yes, you should. Yes, you should. I fully well agree with that. But kids will be kids. And kids are going to find it if they want to watch it nowadays because the internet is, it's once it's out there, it's out there. It's finite. My kid, up until he hit 13, did not have a social media account at all. My kid had a YouTube Kids account until he hit 13. He wasn't able to watch that crap. And when he did watch wrestling, he's with me, and he would walk out of the room once the stupid shit started. Still does. He still doesn't like the blood and guts. So I think both sides are correct here. You need to watch what your kids watch. And this is coming from Amanda Huber. Oh, my kids don't watch it. Yet you let your child, you exploit your children using your husband's death to have, oh, -1. He's -1. Brody Lee Jr., -1. Let's exploit my kid. who is now wrestling for, he fucking debuted for GCW. What a piece of shit company they are. Helping to exploit a dead man's kids. Kids should not be involved in wrestling until you're 18 years old. Yes, I know. Oh, well, Luchador X started when he was 13, flipping around in his uncle's backyard. Oh, blah, 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 blah. No. No. You're not even fully grown. Your bones are not fully grown until you, hit about 17, 18 years old? You're not even legally an adult in this country until you hit 18 years old. I don't care what goes on in other countries. They barely have paved roads, for crying out loud. But here, that night when, TBS champion for, you got the snowman, TBS champion for life. Let's put your boots in the ring and look down at it. I mean, granted, that was probably one of the best Dynamite episodes of all time, was the Huber Memorial Show, but leave the man's kids out of it. And this goes out to Amanda Huber, if you're listening to this. Let me take your MO away from you. I'm just a fat, stupid Mark who doesn't know his ass from his elbow, but I know well enough to know that you should not be exploiting your children. And you have. You exploited your children to get a job after your husband passed away because you needed a fucking meal ticket. Let's get it right. Let's get it right. And anybody who says otherwise is just kidding themselves. Okay? It's not a tackle the woman himself. I'm sure she's a very nice lady. But you used your children and you used your husband's death to get you a fucking job in that company. And now you're set for life. You're probably still getting a check from the snowman every month. Because heaven forbid you should have to be a single mother. If you still are a single mother, that's none of my business. But if you are a mother, with however many kids you have, heaven forbid you should actually have to go out and get a real job. Yeah, I said it. If I'm a piece of shit for saying it, guess what? Oh well, I still said it. I don't care. So both sides on this, I kind of lean towards Sarah Stock's side of this because, yeah, you as a worker who's done shit like this, people's mindsets can change. So I kind of lean towards Sarah Stock's deal of this. And Amanda Huber, your kids aren't going to bed. Your kids are staying up watching this, especially your son, Brody Lee Jr., if that is his real name. -1. He's staying up and watching it. He's actually in the business now, kind of. So you can't sit there and say my kids aren't watching it when your kids are actually doing it. Your kids are actually a part of it. You've used your kids to actually to continue to be a part of it. Sorry that you never made the big time like your husband. Yes, I would like fries with that. That's all I got to say. Go get a real fucking job. We'll see you down the road.
Imagine if we were all just a figment of Tony Khan's imagination.